Almost everyone in America can agree our economic system is not fair. Now, where we diverge is how do we address that? The wokes have equality of outcome, where we basically predetermine what the outcome for the average person should be, and then we rig all racial groups to make sure that's where they end up. The Democratic Socialists have visions of egalitarian futures with limited equality of opportunity, but a very, very high floor for the average individual. The economic libertarians believe that the free market itself will produce fairness, so we should double down. Eventually that will get there. Emerging branch of conservative populists who wants something in between each of those groups. In my opinion, they have a point, but I think it's always important to start with the data. What does it tell us? Where are we exactly before we even evaluate solutions? Luckily, my friend Talman Joseph Smith over at the New York Times actually did a fantastic new analysis on an upcoming largest wealth transfer in American history. What does it reveal about our future politics? Let's dive in. First and foremost, what generational wealth transfer is he talking about? The basics are this. The boomers are getting fully into retirement age. With that comes the reality that many are beginning to die. With death comes inheritance. The boomers, due to the enormous economic growth that occurred during their lifetimes, have amassed trillions of dollars of wealth with relative ease, given cheap tuition, cheap and abundant housing, ballooning wages, ballooning stock portfolios, and frankly, just the longevity of the effect of compound interest over time. A new analysis finds that the $84 trillion projected to be passed down from older Americans to their millennial and Gen X heirs, roughly $16 trillion will transfer just in the next decade. As you can see from the graphic before you, the amount of wealth that the boomers hold is astounding. Some 78 trillion of the 180 trillion in existence, with the rest divided up between Gen X, Silent Gen, and Millennials, holding the smallest share despite making up a massive share of the population. But what is really crazy is not the generational differences, it's who within generations is about to inherit a whole lot of money. Currently, in the United States, the wealthiest 10% of households are the ones who will be giving and getting the vast majority of riches, as you can see before you. For context, the top 1% of American households hold as much wealth as the bottom 90% combined. They will dictate alone most of the money flow. The bottom 50, by contrast, account for only 8% of all future transfers. What makes this particular situation and wealth transfer so unique is the nature of the wealth and how it was attained. The absolute vast majority is held in booming stock portfolios invested since early working years and in real estate values by longer held properties. The twin pillars of boomer wealth thus not only represent a large portion of what will be passed down, but the nature of how it will do so. And this is where the tax code comes in. As he notes, under U.S. law, the top 1.5% of American household wealth will be allowed for transfer to heirs with virtually very little inheritance tax or income tax. The IRS estimates it will capture about $4.2 trillion off of $30 trillion in the transfer. That's a rate of approximately 14%. So a massive wealth transfer is about to occur. Most of it will occur within the top 10% of American household income, and especially amongst the top 1%. This has severe social ramifications. Number one, it changes the fundamental makeup of the relative rich in America. As I've mentioned here before, I've actually been on a bit of a Dave Ramsey kick. I actually read his most recent book, Baby Steps Millionaires. Great book, I recommend it. The book includes a large white paper study on North American millionaires and found the vast majority did not inherit their wealth and got it by slow and steady planning over the years with retirement savings and paid off houses. That's actually an inspiring story. The relative middle class and financial discipline can leave one pretty well off through the laws of compound interest. And to be clear, that's still really good advice. Most people would be better off if they did listen to him. But the question arises, what share of those people will be rich in the future? Because the children of said baby steps millionaires can inherit real estate effectively tax-free through the step-up basis, segments of our real estate laws, and same whenever it comes to stock purchases. The capital gains tax is going only on the appreciation within the period after inheritance, not from the portion when it was held by the original owner. In other words, absolutely gigantic gifts are turning over to children basically without taxes. The potential to not only widen income gaps, but gift wealth to millions who didn't work for it nearly in the same way that their parents did. Not saying they don't deserve it, but if larger shares of the upper middle class attain status through inheritance, it significantly changes accelerating trends, which make it much, much harder to become middle class today than it was 30 years ago. Inherited wealth, not only do they do what they have inherited wealth they have done since time immemorial, they're just going to use the government and fight tooth and nail to preserve wealth and lobby for tax codes that gives control over their estates and lets them give their money to their kids tax-free. The problem, though, is we still live in a democracy. And in times of great, great inheritance, like the Gilded Age before us or the Industrial Revolution in the UK, if you want to keep a relatively free market system, you are going to have to significantly change stuff and make some compromises. The coming age of those compromises could very much change American society forever. We have not had a period like this really since the end of the Great Depression, when the initial system broke completely. Before that, we had the Progressive Era. Both changed everything in the way our society was ordered, how we do taxes, the way the economy interacts with politics. Now, I do not know what the solution is, as obviously many people have very different proposals, but expect this to be one of the central fights of our time. I thought it was astounding, $16 trillion.
Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Saagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.